I'm terrible at intros. Hello everyone, what is going on? I am so very excited to present to you the first episode of YouTube Explained, the show where we try to make sense of YouTube. Pretty big task. I'm gonna try. God damn it, I don't care. Ever since I made Don't Hug Me I'm Scared, the explanation video, I have been thinking about doing this, been thinking about doing other videos, explaining them, trying, to kind of see what the hidden messages are, or just to talk about it and make fun of it if making fun of it is required. So this video I've been thinking about making forever, and let me just start off by saying I do not own any of the clips I show in this episode. All the images I may use do not belong to me, they belong to David Firth, the creator of the show. Don't sue me. Also, this is a subjective thing I'm doing here. These are my opinions. I will put all the sources in the description down below. I'm not claiming that these are all my ideas and I'm a genius, because I'm really not. I'm just here to give you the information and add my own mix and opinion into what smart people have actually come up with. So, without further ado, let's get into this.
Hello.
Salad Fingers. I have attempted to understand this disturbing cartoon on many occasions, but it's so freaking abstract and weird and open for interpretation that it's just impossible to come to a conclusion. First off, I just want to say I don't think this series of cartoons, by the way, if you haven't seen them, the links will be down below. As I said, you should probably have seen all of them before you come watching this video. Anyway, I don't think this series has to do with one particular thing. I think throughout the series there are different elements that we can interpret in certain ways and say this is that, this is this, but I don't think that everything has a rhyme and reason, because whether you want to believe it or not, the creators don't always have a reason for doing or creating the things they do. I also don't think that this series was meant to have an underlying story or a meaning from the very beginning. I think the creator added that in later on. Fun fact about this video, David Firth came up with the idea for this when his friend told him that he had salad fingers while playing the guitar. So I think, yes, the choices made in the first episode, just as the post-apocalyptic wasteland setting and his obsession with Rust, they're not foundations for an actual storyline. I don't think he had intentions of actually explaining them later on, and they were just chosen, I don't know, because his friend said he had salad fingers, for example. Something like that. Having said that, if you want there to be a backstory for salad fingers, then you can choose to believe there is one, like many fans do. That's what I love about Salad Fingers. It's how abstract and just open to interpretation it is, and how it gets people thinking and debating on what the hell this weird, crazy cartoon means. Some fans will believe that Salad Fingers had a family and kids before the atomic bomb was dropped, and they'll take the post-apocalyptic wasteland literally. And then there are other fans on the other side of things that think that he's living in his own mind and that he's actually in an asylum and he's a schizophrenic killer. There are many ways you can look at this. One of my favorite theories that I will be sharing with you today is mostly centered around episode 6. In this interpretation, Salad Fingers is living out his past through his finger puppet. The finger puppet Marjorie is actually his lover / sister. Stay with me. The idea of incest is first hinted at in episode 4 when Salad Fingers is playing with a bug that he calls Little Sister, and makes seemingly sexual comments such as, "I've been thinking about you and your body is so much fun." Not something you'd usually say to a sibling. Now, if you take into account that he has relations with his sister, when you watch episode 6, it sort of makes sense. It would appear that he is actually Jeremy Fisher, one of his finger puppets, and that he, Salad Fingers, is actually Jeremy Fisher, and that their father found out about him and Marjorie. Now, this is backed up by the conversation that he has at the toilet. This conversation really seems out of place at first and doesn't seem to make much sense, but when he returns back home, we get the conversation from the father's side of things. So if you stitch these two conversations together, we get the dialogue between him, aka Jeremy Fisher, and his father. And it goes like this.
Jeremy Fisher, I thought you were out fighting the Great War. I'd like a word with you. Pardon? I'm not one for accusations, but this one's cast iron. I don't understand. What is this? I've seen you tailgating my daughter with aspirations of deflowering her rose. No, this isn't true. You've got the wrong bloke, Squire. I don't make mistakes, comrade. This one's textbook. Wash those bad thoughts away.
And then straight after that, we see Saddlefingers go to eat Jeremy Fisher. We see Saddlefingers, in fact, eating himself, which, in my opinion, backs up this interpretation. It also appears that Saddlefingers would have had a child with Marjorie in episode 9, when Saddlefingers gives birth to whatever that is. He says to Marjorie, "I think we've been given a duff one, Marjorie." He also says that that thing has his mother's eyes, and Marjorie's finger puppet has black eyes because she's a finger puppet. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I just noticed it and thought it was worth mentioning. But this is only one part of the series. There are way more things to analyze and look at. For example, another popular theory is that Saddlefingers is actually Hubert Cumberdale, and that Hubert Cumberdale is Saddlefingers' evil, murdering, cannibalistic, skin-wearing alter ego, and that when you rearrange the letters in Hubert C, you get Butcher, which is the opposite to salad, which implies vegetarian, and Butcher implies meat eater. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was a little far-fetched and a little... yeah, it's like a coincidence. But then again, in episode 2, we do see a life-size version of Hubert Cumberdale in a meat freezer filled, well, with meat, which implies Butcher, which sort of makes sense. So I don't know, is it a coincidence or was it meant to be? I do believe that these theories have some substance, but some people read way too much into them. For example, I did see this one forum post where the author thought that the fact that there are 22 hyphens and spaces in the name Marjorie has something to do with the fact that the number 22 is written on Saddlefingers' door, which I think is just ridiculous, and that's we're stepping over the line here. That's overthinking things, and I overthink everything, so I should know. I could go on forever and ever about Saddlefingers and every single theory there is out there and analyze every single episode. I give you a frame, to frame this, and this part here means this and that. I don't know what that was, but look, I'm not going to do that. Whether or not the creator intended for there to be a backstory or not, or that if there is an underlying message or not, we're all free to interpret it as we want to, and we all have our own view. I once tweeted the creators of Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, asking them to look at my interpretation and, you know, asking them if it was correct. And they got back to me on Twitter, which was amazing, and just said, I don't know. When it comes to interpreting art, there's no right or wrong answer. Even the creator can't tell you that your view is wrong, because it's art, it's open to interpretation. One piece of art can be interpreted 100 different ways, especially if it's a good one. So bottom line is, I love Saddlefingers. It's open to so many different forms and ways of interpretation, and that's what makes it so great. And we can all have a big fun debate in the comment section about what you think this or that means, and this conspiracy theory, Illuminati 666, rah, okay. So this wraps up the inaugural episode of YouTube Explained. Please let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Suggest videos for me to explain. I have more coming up. Subscribe for upcoming explanations of the latest and greatest YouTube videos, whether they be weird or not. I'm not sure what my criteria for videos is yet, but I will come up with one. So as I said, thank you so much for watching the video. Give it a like if you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about Saddlefingers down below. Give me suggestions, subscribe for upcoming videos, and I will see you in the next YouTube Explained. Vinny out.
I like it when the red water comes out.